Well, folks, we know that Democrats are in big trouble in the 2026 Senate races, and things just keep getting worse for the Democrats. They cannot catch a break, and I'm okay with it. I would hate to be a Democrat right now, let's just put it that way, but with Incumbent Senator Jeanne Shaheen announcing that she will be retiring in 26, not running for re-election, it leaves a huge gap, a huge opportunity for the GOP in the state to pick up this Senate seat. They have an opportunity, a golden ticket. Is Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. This is your golden ticket right here. But before we get into it, drop down below, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss another video from us again in the future. So as we know, Incumbent Senator Jeanne Shaheen, she's been in the Senate, I believe, 2008, she was elected back in 2008, initially had run against John Sununu. Is he the brother, I believe? Yep, so he's the brother of Chris Sununu, who we're going to get to here in just a second. Initially lost to him, but Jeanne Shaheen eventually came back 2008 and beat John Sununu. Obviously, a pretty big political rivalry between these two here, the Shaheens and the Sununus, but has retained a relatively safe margin of victory, winning by about 6 points initially. And then it shrunk in 2014 to about 3 points. And then 2020, it increased to 16 points. And here's the thing. We know that this seat, New Hampshire in specifically, is a very nuanced state. We know that federally it is a blue state. It voted for Kamala Harris by, I think, like 2.5 to 3.5 points. Let's take a look here. Why isn't it? Oops. Oh, well, since this obviously wants to cut us off, okay, here we go. She won by, about 3 points, just a little bit under 3 points. She won here by. But at the same time, think about this. Back in 2020, Joe Biden won New Hampshire by about 7 points. About 7 points here he won by. In that same election, the very same election, incumbent governor Chris Sununu, initially elected back in 2016, I believe, won re-election by 32 points. The same election, this is what it looked like for Sununu. This is what it looked like for Biden. Biden won by 7. Sununu won by 32. So, as you can see, we're obviously going to be talking about Chris Sununu today and what he can do in the 2026 Senate race in New Hampshire. But first, let's look at who could potentially jump in this race. As of right now, the leading Democrat candidate, I would say, is Chris Pappas. He is a representative from New Hampshire's 1st Congressional District, elected back during Trump's first midterm in 2018. And right now is considered the front runner by most. I shouldn't say by most. From me, I consider him the front runner for the Democrats right now. He's who I believe, because she's not going to jump in if he doesn't. And then you have a brand new representative who's representing New Hampshire's 2nd Congressional District, and then the daughter of of Incumbent Senator Jeanne Shaheen has also some potential. Now, on the Republican side, who do they have? The big name that you have in here is Chris Sununu. He's the former governor of New Hampshire. He's the very, very popular former governor of New Hampshire. He's the brother of former Senator John Sununu. And there really is no other option in this race. We're not going to run Corey Lewandowski. We're not going to run Scott Brown. We're just not. The reality is if Chris Sununu is in this race, this is a flip for the Republicans. They will pick this seat up, take it to the bank. Because polling right now, inside, it's like head-to-head initially against the incumbent senator. They found that Chris Sununu was up 8 points against the incumbent senator. Neither other Republican that could jump in this race was even close. Even close. And we have brand new polling out today. Well, first, there was an update 2 days ago saying that Chris Sununu, because initially, we'll take a step back, Chris Sununu initially had declined to run for this seat right here. He said he wasn't going to run. He said he was going to focus on going into the private sector, potentially making some money in the private sector. Now, after having many conversations with GOP leaders, he's really mulling a bid in 2026, which makes sense. Here we have, and we'll just bring it back up to the top, a new poll just came out showing Chris Sununu up 9 points. 9 points on the leading Democrat contender right now, Chris Pappas, in a state, like I said, that voted for Biden by 7 and Harris by 3, who also at the same time voted for Chris Sununu by 32. Let's look at 2018. He won by, let's go back and look at his complete his victories. We obviously know Meg Hassan was the former governor. Chris Sununu won by about 2 points in 2016. Went on to win again in 2018 by 7 points. Went on in 2020 again to win by 32 points this time. 2022, he won by about 15 points. 24, obviously, he did not run. And his handpicked successor, who was a Republican, also won. Also won here. This is what you're looking at. But like I said, new polling out showing that Sununu up by 9 points. 9 points. And here's the thing. The Democrats have a lot of weaknesses going into this race. A lot. Number one, their incumbent senator is not running. It was going to be a tight race either way, but their incumbent senator is not running. And if Trump has a successful 2 years, he's able to enact the policies he wants, follow through on immigration, follow through on the economy, follow through on prices, which he, after 2 months, already has followed through so much on. Could make it very hard for Democrats in the state. Doesn't mean they can't win. This is not like, oh, the Republicans are going to blow it out. No. This is still going to be a couple point race either way. I'm just saying, polling shows Sununu up 9 points. That has to mean something. We don't take polls literally, but we take it all into consideration. The reality is that although Trump didn't win the state in 2024, he came within 3 points. He came very, very close in that state. And if Trump is able to enact his domestic agenda, through the appropriations process, he could potentially have huge victories, lowering the costs, tax cut. These are things that base Republicans, GOP Republicans, like to see. But some weaknesses that the GOP has is midterms are just typically bad for the GOP in general. Even with a good map and a good candidate, they can still be rough. Look at what happened in Wisconsin. Eric Hovde, 2024, good year for Republicans. Tammy Baldwin still pulled it out. You look at Michigan, Mike Rogers, barely lost. Good candidate, well-funded, traditional Republican, was not able to pull it. So even in good years, it can still be tough for Republicans to beat. But the good thing here, there is not an incumbent in this race. There is no incumbent. The incumbent, if anyone, would be Chris Sununu because he's won since 2016. He has been in an election every year except 2024. You look at, like I said, a strong candidate like Chris Sununu, well funded by the National Republican Senatorial Committee, who can also fundraise a lot of money on his own. And if the Democrats keep doubling down on the worst of the worst policies that their party espouses, it could be really tough for them in 26. The transgender ideology, the immigration, the Department of Government Efficiency, all of these different things, the Democrats are choosing the wrong side of these issues. They are doubling down on the worst policies that their party represents. Right now, you want some hard evidence to show that? There's a new poll out from Atlas Intel that came out about 3 days ago that shows, and this is going to blow your mind, if you want to talk about Democrats doubling down on the most idiotic positions that their party espouses, outside of Barack and Michelle Obama, the Democrat with the highest favorability rating is AOC. Kamala is 2 points below her, but Kamala also have 55% negative versus 51% for AOC. You have a serious problem when you're the Democrat Party when polling is showing that favorability rating, the highest for the Democrats is AOC. That's a problem for them. That is a huge problem for them. Huge problem for them. And the reality is, if Chris Sununu jumps in this race I would consider it a lean Republican state. That's what I'm going to say. The upcoming Senate is going to be tough. Obviously, the Democrats are going to hold on in Oregon, most likely. New Mexico, Colorado, they have John Hickenlooper, Dick Durbin. In Illinois, you have Mark Warner. And, I'm more of a lean Democrat on Virginia. Then we're looking at the Republicans, or I guess we could finish this out right here. So this is where the map currently sits. Who am I forgetting here? Unfortunately, the Democrats hold all of these seats right now. Oh, where did I mess up? I messed up somewhere right here. Republicans hold Oh boy, I messed up here real quick. Let me just quickly find what I did here. There we found it. But here's the reality. The Republicans are already looking at a good map here. Michigan, Georgia, New Hampshire, Minnesota. Democrats are looking at North Carolina and Maine. Maine, I feel pretty good about. I'm going to put this lean. North Carolina, I'm going to say slight. Tom Tillis, not real popular in the state. I still think it's something he can pull out. He is no stranger to elections where polling is showing him down by 10 points and then he somehow wins by a point or two. You look at Georgia with John Ossoff, the most vulnerable Democrat in the Senate. I think this is a lean Republican, especially if Brian Kemp jumps in the race. Right now, I would consider Michigan a slight Democrat. We're just going to see who is the nominee. Is it Mike Rogers? Is it Tudor Dixon? Is it John James? Does John James, Tudor Dixon, do they look at running for governor instead? What's the reality? Just polling came out from Michigan showing that John James and Tudor Dixon were basically tied in the GOP primary poll for governor. And I would consider, Minnesota is very nuanced, but I'm going to consider a lean Democrat right now. If Sununu jumps in this race, I'm going lean, maybe even slight. We'll just do slight for now because we don't know. Slight Republican advantage. Very slight, but ultimately, Chris Sununu, he knows how to win. In an election that was bad for Republicans, he won by 32 points. Almost a 40-point split between him and Biden in the same race on the same ballot. I feel very good about New Hampshire if Chris Sununu jumps in here. So, and if I were a Democrat, I would be very, very scared. But let me know, what are your thoughts down below? Who do you think would be the best candidate for the GOP? Who do you think would be the best candidate for the Democrats? Let me know down below. That's going to wrap things up for today, folks. We will catch you next time.